Welcome to Unspoken Affairs. In today's story, I'm going to take you deep into the life of a woman who believed she had the perfect marriage until one night. At a quiet dinner, her husband revealed a secret wish that would change everything. What followed was a journey of honesty, heartbreak, discovery, and ultimately, a love that had to be rebuilt from the inside out. My name is Rebecca Carter. And for most of my adult life, I thought marriage was something that followed a predictable script. You fall in love, you get married, you build a family, and then you grow old together. That's the rhythm I believed, in the same rhythm my parents lived by, and the one society expects us to follow. For 12 years, I thought I was doing exactly that with my husband, Daniel. We had a life that, from the outside, looked picture perfect. But on the night of our 12th wedding anniversary, he confessed something that shattered that script and forced me to face questions I never thought I would ask. And what made everything even more complicated was not the wish itself, but the fact that I said yes. Daniel and I first met in college. He was studying mechanical engineering, practical, disciplined, the kind of man who always had a plan for everything. Was in psychology, curious about people, eager to dive into the messy emotions of life. We met in the library one evening, both buried under mountains of textbooks. I remember I was frustrated over an assignment when he leaned over and quietly offered to explain a formula I'd been staring at for hours. That small moment sparked a conversation that stretched late into the night, and from then on, we were inseparable. Daniel had this calm steadiness about him. He wasn't loud or showy. It's the kind of man who listened more than he spoke, who made you feel safe without even trying. I was the opposite. Chatty, eager, always filling silences with questions and laughter. Somehow, our differences balanced each other out. After graduation, we didn't waste much time. We got married in a small church in Virginia, surrounded by the people who mattered most. I remember standing at the altar, looking into Daniel's eyes and believing with every ounce of me that this was forever. Life after marriage was, at least in the beginning, everything we dreamed of. Daniel got a stable job at an engineering firm, while I started my career as a counselor. We bought a modest home, adopted a golden retriever we named Max, and eventually welcomed 2 children into our world, our daughter Emily, and later our son Jacob. Emily is 8 now, full of energy and curiosity, always asking questions about the world. Jacob, 5, is softer, quieter, but equally full of life. From the outside, we looked like the family people admired. Friends often said we were solid, the kind of couple you could rely on, the kind of family that made others hopeful about their own futures. But the truth is, even the strongest-looking marriages have cracks. And ours began to appear quietly, almost without us noticing. Daniel's job demanded long hours. He'd come home late, tired, often worn down by stress. I was stretched thin, too, balancing work, children, and the never-ending cycle of laundry, bills, and appointments. Conversations between us became more about logistics than connection. Did you pay the electricity bill? What time is Emily's recital? Who's picking Jacob up from preschool? The kind of deep conversations we used to have in college about dreams, fears, silly ideas started to fade. We still loved each other deeply, but we were running on autopilot. We were partners in responsibility rather than partners in wonder. Still, despite the exhaustion, we always tried to make space for one another. Little moments: a shared cup of coffee before the kids woke up, a quick kiss in the kitchen, watching a show together at night, even if one of us fell asleep halfway through. But under the surface, something was shifting, something neither of us dared to put into words. And then came our 12th anniversary. Daniel surprised me with dinner reservations at a small, quiet restaurant downtown. Just the 2 of us, no kids, no responsibilities. I remember walking in, seeing the warm glow of candlelight flickering on the tables, hearing soft music in the background. For the first time in months, maybe years, it felt like we were reconnecting. He held my hand across the table, his thumb brushing over mine the way he used to when we first dated. For a moment, it felt like we were 20 again, sitting in the library, lost in each other's presence. But then Daniel's expression shifted. His voice was calm, but hesitant, as he said, "Rebecca, there's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time. It's not easy for me to say, but I think it's important." Immediately, my heart sank. My mind raced through the worst possibilities. Was he sick? Was he about to tell me he lost his job? Or worse, was he about to say he didn't love me anymore? I looked into his brown eyes, searching for some clue. "What is it?" I asked softly. He took a long breath. "I have a wish, something I've thought about for years. I've been scared to tell you because I don't want to hurt you." My stomach tightened. I squeezed his hand. "Daniel, we promised each other honesty. Whatever it is, just tell me." He looked down at his plate, then back at me. "I've always wanted to explore more in our marriage, to step outside the boundaries we set years ago. Not because I don't love you, God, Rebecca. I love you more than anything, but because I feel like there's a part of me that's unfulfilled, okay? And I don't want that secret to fester until it breaks us apart, okay?" His words hit me like thunder. Infidelity. He wasn't admitting to it, but he was admitting the desire, the wish. I froze, staring at him. My chest tightened. My mind was a storm hurt, fear, confusion. Part of me felt betrayed that he even wanted this. But another part of me, the counselor part of me, understood something deeper. I knew from experience that unspoken desires, no matter how uncomfortable, can rot a relationship from within. "So," I whispered, my voice trembling, "you're asking for permission." Daniel nodded. "Only if you're comfortable. Only if you say yes. I don't want to risk us. I want to be honest about what I've been feeling." I sat there, silent, staring at the man I had built my life with, my children with, my future with. A million emotions swirled in me: fear, curiosity, anger. But under all of it, something I never expected. A strange, quiet curiosity. For years, I had been the dependable one, the loyal wife, the steady partner. I never even allowed myself to wonder what it might feel like to break the rules, to step into something unknown. And his wish cracked something open inside me, a door I hadn't realized was locked. That night, I didn't give him an answer. I told him I needed time. He nodded, and I could see both relief and sadness in his eyes. In the weeks that followed, I wrestled with the decision. At night, when the house was quiet, I would sit up journaling. I wrote lists of pros and cons, fears and possibilities. I even called my sister Claire one afternoon, asking her opinion. "Rebecca," she said gently, "you need to protect your heart. Be careful. Sometimes opening the wrong door means you can never close it again." Her words haunted me. But so, did Daniel's face that night, the sincerity, the vulnerability, the fear of losing me? And I noticed something else in the weeks after his confession. Daniel wasn't distant. He wasn't pushing me to decide. If anything, he became more attentive. He brought me coffee in the mornings, texted me sweet little notes during the day. He played with the kids more, read to Jacob at bedtime, helped Emily with her homework. One evening, I watched him sitting on the couch with Jacob curled in his lap, reading softly. And in that moment, I saw not a man trying to run away, but man trying to be fully present. And I realized his wish wasn't about abandoning us, was about living truthfully, without secrets, without lies. Weeks later, in the quiet of our bedroom, I finally gave him my answer. "Yes," I whispered. "Into the dark, I'll say yes. Not because I want to lose you, but because I trust you. And maybe I have wishes too." His eyes widened, and for the first time in months, I saw a spark, relief, joy, and love all mixed together. He pulled me close, kissed my forehead, and whispered, "Thank you. You have no idea what this means to me." But saying yes was only the beginning. What followed was a journey neither of us could have predicted. We set boundaries. We made rules, honesty above all. No secrets, regular check-ins to make sure neither of us felt hurt or left behind. Wasn't about replacing love. was about discovering ourselves and rediscovering each other. The months that followed were filled with contradictions. Some nights, I cried quietly, terrified I had made a mistake. Other mornings, Daniel held me tightly and reminded me I was still his heart, his home, his forever. And something unexpected happened. Opening the door to his wish also opened the door to mine. I admitted to Daniel that I longed for more than routine, more adventure, more spontaneity. Not just in romance, but in life. I wanted to travel more, to pursue passions I had put aside, to rediscover the version of myself I had buried under responsibilities. Together, we started saying yes to more things. We took weekend road trips, signed up for dance classes, stayed up late talking like we did when we were young. We laughed more. We dreamed again. We weren't perfect. We still argued, still stumbled, still faced judgment from people who would never understand. But our love grew not because it fit into a neat little box, but because it was ours. Honest, raw, unafraid, years later. When I look back at that dinner, I realized that saying yes wasn't about infidelity at all. It was about choosing honesty over silence, growth over stagnation, courage over fear. Daniel and I are still together, still raising our children, still walking side by side into the unknown. And every so often, late at night, I whisper a quiet thank you for his courage to share his wish, and for my courage to say yes, because sometimes the bravest thing you can do in love is to step into the unknown together.